I would just ask us all to stand. We'll become reverent, and I'm going to ask Mr. Truss, our Cabinet Secretary, to lead us in a word of prayer.
Let us pray. Oh, Father and our God, we thank you for this moment where we can come as an administration to launch this new website. We pray, God, that even as it is launched, the information that will go forth will be down to the benefit of the people of Nevis. We thank you for blessing us. We thank you for keeping us. And we pray that your hand will be upon us for good. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much. We could be seated. As the program before me suggests, I will now call on Mr. Quincy Prentice from the IT department, and he would bring us welcome remarks. Mr. Prentice.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to adopt the protocol that has been established. I say welcome. It's, I would say, a proud moment for myself and the department in executing the second ever ICT week. I think so far the week has been going well. We're looking forward to having an excellent presentation of this new website today. Tomorrow we go on to the Nevis, the first ever Nevis Digital Conference, where we will have discussions on various types of technologies that are out there today. Forefront of the discussion will be cryptocurrencies and blockchain. Additionally, we will have discussions in the afternoon session with regards to the supporting infrastructure that is required to advance ourselves on a technological basis. ICT Week, as a platform, we see it as a platform for the generating interest in ICT as a career path amongst our youth, to connect solution providers and solution seekers, to promote growth and development of our local ICT sector, and to raise awareness about critical ICT issues such as cybersecurity, cyberbullying, and artificial intelligence. Today, in today's website launch, we see the NIA leading from the front and demonstrating our commitment to all of those objectives that we have outlined. We have a brand new website that we hope will assist the government in the execution of its mandate in areas such as transparency, making information more readily and easily accessible to the general public. In addition, we also will see the first ever launch of electronic services by the Nevis administration that will be offered to the citizens, and that will be demonstrated ably by Mr. John James and myself. John James from Agile Junction Technologies. I would like to say thank you to John. They've worked well with us over the past few months in bringing this website to fruition, and I'm pleased to say I am happy personally, and I hope that you will be, in terms of the aesthetics of the website and also the functionality of the website. And with those few words, I say thank you, and we look forward to the presentations ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prentice. And we'll go straight ahead, and we'll now invite the Junior Minister, who is responsible for the IT department, the Honorable Troy Liebert, to bring us remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and pleasant good morning to all.
Good morning.
I want to adopt the protocol that has been so ably established by the chairman. I want to welcome everybody to this very small, we are neatly packed here in this conference room, but very significant event in the life of the Nevis Island administration. And I believe what underscores how significant this is the fact that we have almost all of the ministers present. And we would have had all present except for the fact that Madam Minister Brandy Williams had another engagement. I think she is doing something with the senior women, and we know that that is something that is also very important. So other than that, we have the Premier and all other members of Cabinet here. We have several permanent secretaries here. So it underscores the importance of what we are doing today. I'm very delighted to speak to you on the occasion of the launch of the new Nevis Island Administration web portal. This is indeed a significant step forward for the administration, and it underscores our commitment to the adoption of modern technologies in the execution of our mandate to deliver proper services to the Nevisian public. It is true that the NIA has a website presently, and that website has served us well. But that website was created in an era where computing was dominated by the desktop and the laptop. We now live in the age of mobile computing and mobile communication. And we have seen that both communication and computing have seamlessly joined to more or less become one. This new web portal will allow us to take full advantage of this new mobile landscape. It is optimized to be user-friendly on both your tablets and your mobile cell phone devices. The new website will greatly improve the overall efficiency of the NIA operations as it rolls out for the first time services to the populace in the form of inland revenue, eServices, and a new work permit platform, among other firsts for the NIA. It will serve as a hub for information, not just about the Nevis Island Administration, but about Nevis on a whole. I'd like to commend the Director of the Information Technology Department. I'd like to commend the staff of the Information Technology Department for their hard work, for their diligent work in bringing us to where we are today, to be able to launch a brand new website that will propel us, that will make us more relevant as a 21st century economy. My hope is that the general public will see this as an opportunity and would take every advantage of the new website and all that it has to offer. With those few words, I say thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. And indeed, we are all looking forward to the website, the new website, as it's been promoted as being very user-friendly. And we are hoping with the interactivity that would be embodied in that, in the new website, that indeed more individuals would access the information that would be available. Now we call on the Honorable Premier, Mark Brantley, to give us an address. Mr. Premier.
Good morning, everyone. I noticed that others were said to give brief remarks, and I was said to be giving an address. I hope you have not misled those who are gathered here, because I hope to be very brief. I, too, would adopt the protocol, except to, of course, recognize the Deputy Premier, Alexis Jeffers, and my other Cabinet colleagues, Cabinet Secretary, and the permanent secretaries who are here. Of course, the head of the IT department and his team, and all of you who have gathered here. I am very grateful to be here with you. I am indeed very, very proud to be a part of this very significant event this morning. It marks a giant step in the government's efforts to improve both efficiency and transparency. The launch of this new website is geared towards advancing open, transparent government and to improve the way that we as a government operate. History has taught us that the world has been through a number of various developmental periods. We went through the Industrial Revolution, and it is said that we're currently in the Information Revolution. This launch signifies and gives credence to the idea that the Nevis Island administration has embraced the Information Revolution and is advancing a culture of pro-disclosure of information. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, we are realizing our ambitions and agenda of making government's information more accessible and more usable. This website will help persons to understand that government is much bigger than its parliamentarians and its bureaucrats. It has the ability to draw persons closer to government and make them more intimate with the government's policies, projects, rules, and regulations. The launch of this new website also means that the government information will be routinely and proactively made available in expectation of the public's demands. For far too long, we, and I mean the politicians and public servants, have cultivated a deep and reflexive mistrust regarding the release of information. In the past, we saw it as exposing ourselves to unwarranted criticism and unwanted scrutiny. For us in the NIA, this phobia is a thing of the past. On the 24th day of April 2018, the Parliament of the NIA had the first reading of its Freedom of Information Ordinance. And on Thursday, tomorrow, 3rd May, the federal government will have its final reading of similar legislation on St. Kitts. The launch of our new website pushes the freedom of information agenda. It advances the government's pro-disclosure culture. With this new website, all Nevisians will be able to receive maximum practicable access to public information. Our people are too smart, too intelligent, too literate not to have free and unlimited access to government's information. Totalitarianism and dictatorship thrive on keeping their people in the dark. By denying them access to information and cultivating ignorance, they are able to further their oppressive and corrupt political agenda. Democracy, on the other hand, despises and discourages ignorance. It embraces knowledge and the free flow of information. One of the tenets of democracy is that an informed electorate make better and wiser decisions in choosing their leaders. Information, therefore, is the water and fertilizer that causes democracy to germinate, grow, and bloom. If this new website means that the NIA will be closer and have deeper contact with the public, then I welcome it. This morning is a sign that my government is ushering in a new era of transparency and openness, and all Nevisians will be the beneficiaries, and our democracy will be the beneficiary. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, allow me again publicly to applaud and commend Mr. Quincy Prentice and his team at the IT department for creating this new and much improved website. Mr. Prentice and his team continue to build a culture of online innovation within the government, and I like to say it's the best team that we have operating in IT anywhere. I trust that this website will maximize the extent to which the government and the general public interact and engage online, and will augment our ability to transmit information in all its forms to members of our public. Let me also take the opportunity to thank Mr. John James, I think, and his business called Agile Junction for their partnership. Mr. James is no stranger to Nevis. He has been involved in various efforts in this regard, and I would like to record the administration's thanks for that partnership from Mr. James. Let me also thank the Honorable Troy Liebert, the Junior Minister, who has led the Ministry of Education and ICT on a day-to-day basis, for his leadership, because this, and I said this to him privately and I'll say it publicly, is really a signal achievement for him in his capacity as Junior Minister at such an early stage. And I want to commend Minister Liebert and commend the entire team for this wonderful effort that we're seeing here. Lastly, I want to say that the NIA is seeking to be leaner, smarter, and more responsive. The eServices platforms that we hope to see unveiled today in relation to work permits and in relation to the Inland Revenue Department, we hope will help our public to have greater and easier access to the services that government offers. And so with those hopefully very few words, I end my address and thank you all for being here on this very, very momentous occasion for the island of Nevis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier, for that. Yes, that beautiful address. But we're not done with you just yet. We have just one other little function for you. It's called the Go Live function. So, yes, so we'll ask you to come, and symbolically you would, we would consider this as the cutting of the ribbon. All right? Yes, so you will. And then after you have done that, Mr. John James, he will give a general overview of what we will be seeing. So there's a little blue button right here. Then you touch it.
I'm happy it's not orange.
Just a second. Yeah, it should have been.
It should have been. So what am I meant to do? Just give us 1 second. Maybe. I'm supposed to come up on the screen as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, 720.
720? Okay. You look?
That's okay. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Premier, we'll have you click.
You want me to come up now?
Yes.
Yes.
Come live, and we'll officially take it.
Premier, this is a electronic version of cutting up the ribbon. Okay. So what am I meant to do? Just click.
Simply click Go Live.
And go live?
Yep.
Just tap that?
Yep. And that would make it
Okay.
available to the entire world.
Oh, wow. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going live with our brand new website. Good morning, everybody. Let me just move things around. All right. Good.
John, you can increase the Zoom again.
Sure. How's that?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. Allow me to adopt the protocol that has been established. And to say thank you, Premier, for unveiling the website. I think it's probably the first that this has been done in the Federation. And as you can see, the website is now launched. And I've heard it being mentioned as a website for most of the morning. I'd like to change that and say that this is a portal and it's not a website. And I'll explain to you what the difference is. So the NIA e-government portal consolidates information from all of the ministries and departments in the NIA. Each ministry or department has its dedicated section, and that allows for a uniformed, user-friendly, and interactive environment. The portal is firstly secure. It is cross-browser compatible, cross-device compatible, mobile optimized, all big words, but basically saying that no matter what you connect to the website with, it will adapt to your screen and give you the best solution for that specific screen size. In addition, it is search engine optimized, social media optimized. It has integration with social media. It also has a mega menu and a advanced live search, which I will demo shortly. So, without further ado, let's experience this portal together. If you would make your attention to the screens available, you would notice that at the top of the website, first of all, let me point out that with the revamping of this website and now portal, we've also revamped the official logo of the NIA. You will notice that is being displayed on the website. In the background, you would see a photo of Charlestown, Nevis, and this area, as we browse through the website, you'll notice that the photos change, and there'll be photos of places and things that's happening in Nevis. And the intention with this is to allow local photographers to have their photos featured on the NIA's website. As I mentioned earlier, there is a mega menu to the top. And this mega menu allows you to be able to get to any information within 2 clicks. You'll also notice that there is a search that is available throughout the website. And this is an advanced live search. You will notice when you click on search, below you have filters. So depending on what you're searching for, you can choose that area and begin typing. So take, for example, the Honorable Premier. If I want to find information on the Honorable Premier, I start typing, and if you notice, as I begin typing, a page becomes available. You'll notice that I selected people. I'll explain this a little bit later. But this would then lead to the profile of the Honorable Premier. You can see his bio, his photo, contact information, Facebook handle. In addition, because this is a portal, all the articles that were ever written that includes the Honorable Premier, you can have direct access to those from his profile page. This is also available for all ministers of government along with permanent secretaries. And this in itself is a feature that we're looking to expand so that profiles of as much persons as possible in government can be made available. Let's switch to contacts. Oops, technical glitch. There we go. Now, contacts within itself provides a full directory of all departments and ministries within the NIA. It is also searchable. So, take for example, I'm looking for the number for Permanent Secretary Wakely Daniel. Like the live search, I can begin typing. And as you can see, before even finish typing his name, his information becomes available. This can be done for persons and also ministries. Inland Revenue, almost instantly, information is made available. You'll notice as well that to the top of this page, you can export the full directory. So if you want it offline, you can print it, you can save it as a PDF, along with some other options that we have available. Additionally, you'll see supported throughout the entire website all these social media icons, which allows you to instantly share what you're viewing on social media. So if I wanted to share this page on Facebook, I simply click the Facebook link and share it with my friends. Let's move to calendar. Now, because this is a portal, and as mentioned earlier, it consolidates all of the information from the many departments and ministries in the NIA. This is an example of a consolidated calendar of events. So things that are happening across the NIA. So, and they're color-coded. And they're color-coded for a reason. At the moment, we have, for example, the Agriculture Awareness Month. And you will notice that those are in green. There's also the ICT Week. Those are in yellow. And there's also the tourism, Ministry of Tourism activities. Those are in purple. All right. Now, this is a consolidated calendar, but you'll see a bit shortly that when we do go to the specific ministry or department section, you'll see where this information is coming from. So the general public can come here and have access to the full calendar of events across the NIA. But, like I've mentioned, for example, Ministry of Agriculture. You will notice when you go to Ministry of Agriculture, here is the Ministry of Agriculture's Awareness Month. And this is their calendar being consolidated within the general calendar that I illustrated moments ago. This kind of lead me over to the ministry section, and this is vast, so I'll just pick a few, show you a few examples, and when you have time, you can go through all of the relevant ministries. So, while I'm on the Ministry of Agriculture, you'll notice that at a glance, I got to it in one click, but in addition, you'll notice on the right,
the Ministry of Agriculture would have its own website. The portal then allows you to see that, well, hey, the Ministry of Agriculture has its own website. You can click off and go there and find as much information as you wish. But we are consolidating as much as we can here on the portal. You'll notice that the permanent secretary is identified, their contact information, opening hours, along with all articles ever written under the ministry, documents and forms which I'll illustrate shortly. And we have a general information about the Ministry of Agriculture. Same for Inland Revenue. Inland Revenue, which will be launching their eServices shortly. You'll notice that they too have a permanent secretary. They have a website, so the portal directs you to that. Opening information, opening hours, and the IRD decided that they wanted their team to be displayed in their section. So here you can see team members and all of their bios. So similarly to when we showed the profile of the Honorable Premier, here we have the bio contact information of one of the new additions to the IRD. I'll show one more. As you can see, it's a lot. Let's look at Culturama, which was launched a few weeks ago. You'll notice that it provides general information on Culturama 44, and the calendar of events is available. Of course, Culturama would have had their own website, but because the portal allows for persons, for information across the departments to be consolidated, then this is able to be shown here. Let's move to documents and forms. Documents and forms is a very important section because it allows the government to provide electronic copies of literally everything that needs to be public. The laws, documentations that come out of the various departments. Let's take, for example, human resources. I think during the Premier's press conference, he made mention to the social media policy. That is there readily available. In addition, recently there was some documentation that was provided that illustrated or provide information regarding financial assistance and study leave. That is available. Now, please note that all of this information, it is so much, but you can always come here at the live search and just begin typing. So in this case, if I want to do social media policy, I start typing. You'll see other information. I think this is an article where the Premier would have mentioned the social media policy, so that is in there. But you'll notice that the direct link is also here. The how-to section, this is a section that are mostly for residents, and this is where we're seeking to provide information on how do you get things done. So take, for example, the rates for driver's license. You can find the rates here without even having to contact anyone. Personal development. This is a new area, and this is channeled by the Human Resources Department, and it is intended to provide information to persons who are looking to study abroad and persons who have recently completed studying and are seeking employment. So you will notice that there are a number of scholarships that are available. I think there are 12 of them, and you can pretty much select the one that you're interested in, and you can select the one that you are interested in and view information. Colombia, that just came online a few weeks ago. So you'll notice here you can see information on the application guidelines. You can look at the brochure of the scholarship. All right. Give you another example. OAS. And in this instance, they have several scholarships that are available. And this information is readily available for persons who are seeking scholarships in the various areas to study abroad. You'll notice also on the right that there are contact information for persons within the HR department. And we try to provide as much information as possible. And in addition, the study leave that I mentioned a while ago, this was also consolidated within this personal development area, and you'll notice that all the information that's available as it relates to the financial assistance and study leave is available here. And last but not least, the available jobs. This area would be populated with jobs that are available that the human resource department would know about, and it doesn't just include jobs that are available within the NIA. If there are businesses that needs to advertise that they have positions available, this would be the place for it to be done. In addition, persons can view the information and they can apply. Next, small business. This would be working along with the small business development unit, and we're presented here with what we call an interactive map. The small business unit, through its extension, would allow small businesses the opportunity to have their own page on the NIA's website. So we've placed a few here. Take, for example, Sherry's Beauty World. I'm sure everybody knows Sherry's. You can see its exact location. There are featured photos. If there's any advertisement that the business is offering, that can be done. Contact information, email address, the exact location, opening hours. And this is something that can be offered to all small businesses. You will notice as well, if I go back to business directory, just pointing out here that this is an interactive map with an exact locations of where the businesses are. Whether it's in Charlestown, Gingerland, doesn't matter. It would show where that business is located. News and the dissemination of the likes. This would then be an area that is information is provided from the government information system or service, and this is pretty much all of the news that exist within the NIA. You'll notice that when we were at the Ministry of Agriculture, this article showed up because it is agriculture related. So the news section shows you are consolidated, but if you go to that specific ministry or department, then you will see specific articles being displayed for that ministry. While I'm here, you'll notice on the right as well that we are advertising events that are coming up. So you'll notice that there is an ad on the right there for Culturama 44. NNC. This is, again, the portal allowing for the synchronization across the different departments, across the different ministries. So this information is being synchronized from the NIVIS television department. I'm just waiting for it to load. Maybe I've lost internet. Let's see. There we go. So you'll notice that all of the videos that were posted are made available to the public by the NNC and by NTV is immediately available here at the portal. Take, for example, the press conference that happened a few days ago. That in its entirety is available immediately once it is released by NTV. Last but not least, let's look at the homepage. Seems like I have lost internet. I apologize. I have. What is a demonstration without technical difficulties? I can assure you this is not the website. The internet is actually down. Ladies and gentlemen, while this we try to figure out this technical glitch, the last page that I wanted to illustrate was the actual homepage of the portal, which would provide a consolidated overview of what I've shown you just now, and it gives you a quick snapshot of the latest information that is available. So you'll be able to see the latest news, the latest upcoming events. You'll be able to see the access to the eServices, which we're going to launch shortly. You'll be able to see information for residents, such as those listings that were posted within the how-to section. There's information for visitors, which would then link to the Tourism Authority. And there's other services such as the federal, there we go. Perfect. So as I was saying, you will notice that you'll see the latest news, going from left to right. Latest news, the upcoming events, and this is from the consolidated. You'll see here the event that we are at the moment. The featured ministries, these would be based on relevance. So at the moment we're featuring, for example, the Inland Revenue and Ministry of Agriculture, because they are at the moment having events. You have direct access to eServices. Take, for example, Neverlake ePay, the Permit Office, which we're going to look at shortly. Information for residents. We have hurricane season coming up. That link is available. That would integrate with NDMD, information on businesses. That information more information will be provided in this section, visitors and other services. Again, to demo this portal fully, it will probably take me another 2 hours, which we don't have. So I think we've gotten a great snapshot of the capability of this portal and how it integrates the entire NIA into one platform that is easy to use, user-friendly, and extremely interactive. Thanks for your time, and I trust that this website is not only pleasing to the eye, but provides to the extent and to the general public information and access to the NIA. Thanks. That way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. James. And we have just one other presentation, and Mr. Prentice, if you would, the Inland Revenue Department eService.
Good morning once again. I'll try to be as brief as possible. This presentation was supposed to be done by a gentleman, Mr. Watkins Shiverton. However, he fell ill, so I'm standing in for him. Let's get that going. IRD eServices. For a long time now, this is something that we have been working on in terms of enabling the general public to interact more efficiently with the Inland Revenue Department. The department, as you know, is one of the main revenue collecting arms of the Nevis Island administration. And in that regard, it's one of the more critical departments in terms of enabling them to transact business with the general public electronically. So what are we trying to do in terms of the smart IRD components? We have the ability to file. Those of us who are familiar with various taxes that are collected by the Inland Revenue Department, it could be business and occupation license, unincorporated business tax, corporate income tax filings. That information, there's a certain amount of information that has to be periodically filed with the Inland Revenue Department. The eServices application allows that information exchange to occur electronically without the need for the business to manually complete forms and manually submit that to the Inland Revenue Department. That is important on two fronts. One, it reduces the amount of time that it takes for the business to get that information into the department. It also reduces the risk of errors in terms of when that information, if that information is captured manually, that information subsequently has to be manually re-entered into the internal application, which is called SIGTAS. However, through an electronic submission, we eliminate that step and we eliminate a lot of the issues that could arise from that. The second issue is the ability to pay online. So in addition to doing the periodic filings, as you know, you periodically have to pay, be it your VAT, your UBT, your business license, whatever it is, you have to pay periodically as well, especially for the business community. They have to pay sometimes monthly, quarterly, or on an annual basis. So the ability to pay online is also very important in terms of making life easier, especially on the business community. And this is something that we're looking to launch as well. The ability to do objections, that's also very important. There are times when taxpayers may feel aggrieved by the assessment that may have been done by the Inland Revenue Department. And it's important that they have also that ability to raise an objection electronically. These are all features of the online filing system. So the eIRD is also important in that it allows businesses and civil society to interact with government 24/7, 365. We're no longer bound by the 5 working days or holidays or anything like that. You can, anytime if you want to wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and decide you want to file your taxes at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can do that from the comfort of your own home. Additionally, just this week, the department has launched the electronic driver's license and vehicle license services. And these are also services that are very important for members of the general public, not as much the business community, but certainly the general public. Everybody would have, most persons would have a vehicle or a driver's license. And it's important that you allow persons to do those transactions online as well. And this is a view of the actual Inland Revenue web page. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there would be a link in the upper left-hand corner where you would click the eServices login. Then you would be taken to the login page where you would type in your username and password. The username would be given to you. There is a registration process that has to be completed at the Inland Revenue Department. So you would come in, you would sign up for eServices, and then that username and password, an initial password would be issued to you. You would sign in and you would set your password, and then you would then be able to access the various services online. This is a view of what the person would see when you would log into the account. You would basically have a listing of all of the various tax types that you have access to via e-filing. So for instance, you have hotel and restaurant tax, corporate income tax, business and occupation license, all of the tax types. So you have the ability to essentially view all of your tax liabilities from what's called a single window. So instead of having to file through mounds of paper to try to figure out, okay, what is my overall tax liability to the government, you can easily see that from a single window, a single screen on the e-filing website. You also have the ability to drill down into individual accounts and see what is the breakdown of your overall tax liability. For instance, we are looking at the withholding tax account summary for the demo account, and you would be able to see what is your real-time balance, your balance as of today, what is your interest and what is your penalty balance. Additionally, you would also be able to see all of the filings that you would have made over a period of time. Those filings would be available, in addition to having the ability to submit an e-file. We are now looking at some enhancements, and this is not as visible. But what it basically does is that there's a long form that you typically get that you have to file for corporate income tax. All this is showing you, instead of having to fill that form out manually, you can essentially do everything electronically. In addition to that, there are a wide range of documents that are available on the Inland Revenue website. It could be the documents that are required for, or forms that are required for the registration of companies, individual registrations, application forms, similar to what John would have demonstrated before. Those forms are also, the Inland Revenue specific forms are also available via the eServices portal. Security. In any type of e-commerce application, security and cybersecurity is of paramount importance. And this is essentially saying that we do take cybersecurity extremely seriously, and we want to give persons the assurance that your information is secure with the Inland Revenue Department, and the transactions that you perform via the eServices portal, those transactions are also secure. Because, of course, you would be exchanging personal information, usernames, passwords, and credit card information in terms of doing the payment. So we would want to give that assurance to persons that the transactions themselves are secure. Typically, the security would be handled by what's called an SSL certificate, which you would see in any type of a secure browsing website. You know that your session is secure by that green address bar that's typically up at the top. that says it would say HTTPS, and it would display the address bar in green. There's some of the benefits. Obviously, you can avoid lines, long lines. I think I would have made mention of that before. So again, I just want to emphasize the process, the overall process. You first have to register for the eServices. So you go into the Inland Revenue Department and you would fill out an application to gain access to eServices. You log in because the password that you would be given, you would have to change that initial password. You log in, and step 3, you begin to do your online transactions with the Inland Revenue Department. And that is it for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I said that would have been our last presentation, but no, Mr. John James will come again, and this time he'll be doing the Premier's Ministry online work permit platform.
Thank you. Okay, Quincy, just to piggyback off your presentation, just so you know, the portal does have the link that you were looking for. That is not on the the IRD's website, but it's here on the portal. I'm here to speak about the Permit Office, eServices or electronic forms, and this is an extension of the Permits Office. It's an extension of the Permits Office, and it ensures that the services that are offered by the Permit Office is available worldwide. It not only allows you to interact directly with the Permit Office, but it provides all of the application services available within the office online. We have a total of 12 forms that can be processed online. The forms are user-friendly, they're interactive, and it collects all of the information you would have to provide manually, such as IDs, proof of citizenship, dependents, etc. The eServices platform covers from the initial submission of the form. So a good example would be you walking into the Permit Office with your application filled out, to the application being approved or denied. It handles the full process. The eServices also includes a help desk, which will allow you to directly communicate with the staff about any matter regarding your application. Let's have a look at the Permit Office e-form system. And this is available under the eServices section of the platform. You are presented with a login screen. Now, there are two ways for you to get access to the system. The Permit Office could activate an account for you, or you can initiate an activation, initiate an account, an online profile for yourself. Now, this will be a replica of you either calling into the office or walking into the office and say, hey, I want to apply for example, student visa. My internet would work with me. There we go. So the sign-up process is very simple. First thing we ask you, which form are you interested in gaining access to? You'll notice here that we have the 12 forms that are available from the permits office. I won't go through them all, but take, for example, as I mentioned, student visa. I would enter my name, email address, create a user profile, and this then moves over to the permit office, which would then approve your profile once they do a bit of verification. You would receive an email indicating that your profile has been approved, and you can then log in. So for demonstration purposes, I log in. You'll notice on the left, you would see the list of forms that you have access to. Those forms have several statuses. Pending, which is the start of that form. So it would be a replica of you taking that form and having to fill it out. Let's take an example. The work permit ID application. All of the information is requested. You fill it in. You'll notice here that even a photo is requested. That information you'll fill out. And if, for example, you don't have all the information that you need, then you can save the form and come back another day when you have that information. Once that form is fully completed, you click complete. That would then move the form over to the permits office. Now, once you've clicked complete, you don't have access to change that information. The permits office would then verify your information and do what they do in terms of their due diligence. And they would move the form from being pending, from being completed to verified. And verified would mean that all the information that you've entered is good, and it continues the process where it would now be reviewed and ensure that the application is in good order. Once the application has been approved, all of the changes that are made through the different processes, you are communicated via email. You get an email indicating that your form has been moved from completed to verified. It's moved from being verified to being in process, moved from in process to being approved, or in some cases denied. If it's denied, you would receive that information as to why it was denied. Now, because some of these forms are really long, it would take too long for us to go through these forms. But in addition to being able to communicate and fill out these forms and complete that process online, if, for example, you've completed a form and the permit office requires additional information, additional documents, that can be done here. They would direct you to this page, and you would upload the additional documents that you need. If you also need to communicate with the office regarding any matter, you can submit a ticket through the help desk. This goes directly to the permit office, and all of the communication, the full thread, is recorded within your profile. You could log in at any time and access and see the communication between you and the permit office. As I said, you'll notice as well there's one additional area called payment history, and this is for phase 2 of the application, where upon the application being verified, then you would then be allowed to log in and make the necessary payments for that specific application. And what that leaves in the entire process is just one physical interview with the office, as opposed to being back and forth in the office several times. I think that in itself is a full overview of the process. As I've said before, we have a total of 12. We have a total of 12 forms that can be filled out, and these can be made accessible to you either through the sign-up process, or the permit office can then provide you access. Very similar to you walking in and saying, hey, may I have a residency by marriage form. That is provided to your profile. You fill out the information, upload all the documents that you need, and the process is taken from there. This again would be accessible from the government's platform, and is an extension of the government's platform. And I think this service will definitely do great, especially when we have the amnesty season. I think that would have helped to reduce the lines, but I'm sure the Premier would probably have another one later this year. And he shakes his head. So I think at that point the system will definitely be able to assist in that regard, in expediting the processing of these applications. That's it for the permit office. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much again, Mr. James. And indeed, I'm seeing that this portal is really interactive, and the Work Permit Office, I am sure, is going to benefit tremendously from the interactivity that it offers. Now we have come to the end of this ceremony, very, very intriguing ceremony, I might add, all of the information that was given out today, and it would not have been possible had it not been for the work of a number of individuals, and I'm sure Mr. Brown, Jaron Brown, in his vote of thanks would highlight some of those individuals. Mr. Jaron Brown will now give us the vote of thanks.
Good day. Our protocols having been established and amended and adopted and observed, I greet you with a motion to say thanks. In our society today, we recognize, and I'm sure we all have experienced, the coarseness that exists in how we interact with each other. So this morning we want to say thank you. As we express gratitude, thank you to all who participated in the program this morning, for Mr. Stedman Truss, who did the prayer, and Mr. Quincy Prentice for his welcome remarks, to the Honorable Troy Liebert for his brief remarks, and for Honorable Mark Grantley, the Premier, for his address. To Mr. John James for the Agile Junction Technologies for the demonstration of the website, and thank you, Mr. Premier, for pressing the button for the go live. We say thank you, and we say thank you to all others who have been here, to the members of cabinet, permanent secretaries, and other civil servants. We know that your time is very valuable and precious, and so we just want to say thanks for being here with us today. Hopefully, we know that you must have work piled up now that you spent some time here, but hopefully the tools and the features of the portal would help to ease some of that load that you carry daily. So you could point persons to say that you have access to information now. So thank you. To our guests from the National ICT Center in St. Kitts, Erica Paris and Owen Joseph, we say thank you for gracing us with your presence. To the Department of Information, NTV, thank you, and to Caribbean Digital Displays, thank you as well. So, I'd like now to move a motion that we adopt this thanks. No. Because it's a vote of thanks, so I'd like to move a motion. Any second? Second? So all in favor? Aye. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end, and we are inviting you to indeed access the information and the website or the portal that is now available on your smartphones and on your laptops and whatever electronic gadgets that you have. The information is right there for you. Thank you very much.
Love